Welcome back to the Shea Stadium. It's a big night tonight, the start of the 2013 Rugby League season in the Championship, of course, tonight. Halifax against the Sheffield Eagles. It is the year of Rugby League. A lot of announcements have been made over the last few days, and we've known for quite a while there's a World Cup at the end of it, November the 30th. The World Cup final at Old Trafford. Everybody with an English hue is hoping that England will be involved in that. There'll be a few Welshmen watching on tonight who'll be thinking, well, you know, Iestyn Harris's side might have a chance. And, of course, David Wood's Australia will start probably as favourites. New Zealand involved there as well. It's going to be a real festival, isn't it? It's going to be a fantastic tournament, that, the World Cup.
It is. It's, you know, it's a tremendous concept, and you know, it unites the fans, and there's that rivalry there. It's a really good competition.
1954, the last one. Sorry, the first one, 1954. It's got a bit of history. Mark Aston takes his seat in the stands. Thumbs up. He's the man, of course, who is protecting the silverware, his side having won the grand final in that memorable occasion at Warrington's Halliwell Jones Stadium at the end of last year. But the road starts again right here in Halifax tonight. Maybe there's a bit of wrong to be righted by Halifax this evening as well, because, of course, their last game was against the Sheffield Eagles, beaten in no uncertain style by the Sheffield Eagles, going out, finishing their season. So maybe there's a little bit of retribution in the air here tonight. Some new faces to look forward to. There's a very familiar face that we know all about. Andrew Henderson, of course, wearing the red bonnet tonight. I don't think he's had his nose fixed yet, has he? He'll wait till the end of this season, maybe. But one or two new faces on both sides, and one or two new rules. George Stokes is our referee to implement those new rules, and we're about to get underway right now. Just waiting a moment or two before he blows his whistle in the bright orange shirt. And here we go. The new season is underway. 2013. It could be a massive year for Rugby League. And it all starts here with a big, big drive forward and a massive hit too. And I think that's something we look forward to from Halifax this year with all the big forwards they've got.
Yeah, Ambler, the addition of Braycheck, he'll be looking for a huge season. And then they've got a bit of biff coming off the bench as well, haven't they? The Tony Tonks, he doesn't mince his words. And young Ian Davies has got his chance. They must be going pretty well, because they've left Sam Barlow out of the team, who normally goes really well for this Halifax team.
Yeah, all the suggestions towards the end of last season were that Barlow was on his way, and maybe on his way to Super League, but he has stayed here at Halifax. He put in some memorable performances, didn't he? Mainly off the bench, but not included tonight, which is an indication of how much Carl Harrison has at his disposal in terms of strength in depth in this pack. So up to the halfway line, here comes the sixth tackle. It's going to be a kick from Scott Morrell downfield, a little chase back by the back two. Quentin Lulutagaga is there to pick it up and tries to run it away. Up there quickly was Thackeray to get in right in his face, and that's what teams have to do, really close him down at the earliest opportunity.
Oh, Halifax will be delighted with that start. They had 5 really competitive carries from their big blokes, a great kick from Morrell, and a couple of one-up misses early on QLT, and they can't afford to do that, but they started really well, Halifax.
And listen out from dummy half, driving it, just skipping it right to that right-hand side, and Peter Green, who makes another stride or two. They're wearing squad numbers as well this year. That's another new feature to the Championship. 1 to 13 last term, but this time, every time you see Andrew Henderson, as you do now, he will be wearing number 9. And every time you see the man there who collects it, Rob Warrency, he will be wearing number 2. And it's right the same across the board. Here comes Warrency running it forward. The Warrior, as he's known to the locals. He's going to be tackled just outside that 20. It's looking quite muddy out there. It's going to be tricky underfoot, isn't it, here tonight?
Yeah, let's not forget we've had a fair bit of snow and a lot of rain this last couple of days, so the pitch looks a whole lot better than I thought it would do.
Just cut up a little bit in the warm-up here tonight. It was looking a little more perfect than it is right now. Away from dummy half again by Ashall to that right-hand side. Halifax making decent progress. Ashall, Craig Ashall. His brother Carl is on the bench this evening. We'll see them swap and change. Here's Morrell again. He's driving it forward. Straightforward stuff on the 5th. Here comes the last. So possibly looking for the kick. Down that right-hand side again it goes. A little chip, this time back in midfield to Handforth. Collected easily enough by Don Brambani. He's looking for a little bit of a weakness and looks to that right-hand flank again. They're so dangerous, aren't they, Sheffield? Even inside there, they get a penalty here as well. That's a lift, but even inside that particular part of the field, Dave Woods, every defence knows they can really hurt you hard.
Well, that's it. If you go up one out to try and make the tackle, you know, you've got blokes like QLT and Menzieri and Talapapa that are great on their feet, and they'll just beat you every time. So they need to make sure when they do that kick, put that kick through, it's one straight line chasing.
Henderson from dummy half. Jackie Howison taking it forward. Two men quickly in his face, including Adam Robinson hanging on. A couple more there as well. Here's Henderson. Carl Harrison, we've heard he's bad with his foot tonight, so the stage when he looks as though he wasn't going to make it. Here's Menzieri, good ball on again, back to Lola Tagagai, who's eventually gone down, but decent position that Sheffield find themselves in here, pressing close. Back it comes to Howison again, head down and trying to drive it in. Still got a couple of tackles to go here. It's Henderson at dummy half to that left-hand side. Little kick through by Pat Walker. It's being chased, and I think it's been touched down by Knowles, has it? Well, the referee has a look, doesn't need a second opinion, has given the try. What a start for the Sheffield Eagles. Michael Knowles plunging in, and Pat Walker, virtually the first thing he's done in a Sheffield shirt. The new signing sets up a try.
Well, we talked about a kicking game, probably longer we were thinking about, but he's put down a sixpence, Pat Walker. And Knowles, it's only as good as Knowles' chase, but they're on the fly, all the Sheffield players, and he threads the needle. Ball down, Knowles scores. Sheffield 4-0 with kick to come, but that's a great start to his Sheffield career, that kind of deftness on his touch and his kick. Set play, set of 6. And they're showing their wares already down this left-hand side.
I think you two chose Michael Knowles as man of the match in the last game we played, when he was in the grand final, so an apt start, having had a glorious finish to last season.
Yeah, it is, and you know, look, they had plenty of numbers there, the Halifax side. They just didn't move up. They didn't put any pressure whatsoever. Line speed was non-existent, and Walker just went to the line, and it was a great little kick through, but good chase through. You know, Halifax, they won those first couple of sets with their field position, and just come up empty there.
Well, a chance to add the 2 to the 4. It's difficult footing, so it's always difficult to strike the ball cleanly. Well, he did get a clean strike, but hasn't found the target, so it remains 4-0. Bit of a wake-up call there for Halifax, wasn't it?
Well, it's the first set, isn't it? Sheffield's really, in reality, the penalty gave him a bit of field position, and then they execute a play that they will have practiced 1,000 times. He's just trying to get the ball on that front line there, and Knowles beats the Halifax defence to the kick.
Walker, of course, the man who missed the conversion. So 4-0 it stays. Here comes the restart, and Halifax looking to right the wrongs of their defensive lapses just a few moments ago. Looking to keep Sheffield deep inside their own half if they can. Little ball dropped off by Talapapa, driven in by Peter Green. Henderson from dummy half again. Tagagai down this right-hand side, trying to release his man, but Halifax defending is good enough to make sure that Talapapa can't cross that halfway line. Here comes Green again. Real stride forward by him.
I'll tell you what Sheffield are doing really well, Dave. They're creating numbers down the short side now. Halifax need to wake up and start to equalise when they've got that little bit of short side, or they'll continue to punch little holes in.
Stringer put down on the 5th. Here comes the last. Back it comes to Brambani, who puts the kick downfield. Has he found the distance? Well, he looks as though he might have done, but Fieldhouse was across sharply there, the fullback to collect for Halifax, and they will start from here. 6 minutes played. And this is the deepest they've started a set so far, isn't it, Halifax? Very much inside their own half. Warrancy again. Is his brother Michael still playing at Penrith, by the way?
No, he's back over here.
I think he's just re-signed for London Scholars.
I might see him before the season's out as well, then. Ashall, Craig Ashall, having made decent progress on this left-hand flank with Ross Devorty, who played down that left channel in that final playoff game for Halifax last year and did ever so well. Ashall again, back to the middle, and Thackeray. Little drop ball for Ambler to force his way in. 3 men trying to hold him up, no chance of getting that ball away. So here comes the 6th. Ashall again down that blind side. Little chip over the top. It's an intelligent one, but Quentin Lola Tagagai's across there, QLT, to make sure it's safe. It's not often you say that about him, is it? Just to make sure it's safe. He usually poses a threat as well, not on that occasion. 2 tackles gone. Here's Henderson, looking for the big man to blast away down the middle if he can. And Halifax efficient enough, trailing as they do by 4 points to nil. If you are just switching on, it was 5 minutes when Michael Knowles scored the game's and the season's opening try from a little kick from Pat Walker. But Patch Walker missed the conversion attempt, so it remains 4-0. Henderson again to that left-hand flank. Little step back inside by Knowles once more. Up and beyond the 30, very nearly the 40-metre mark. There's not a lot of distance between the 30 and the 40, is there? Henderson throws it back. Here comes the kick downfield. Walker again putting boot to ball. It bounces awkwardly for Fieldhouse. He's lost a yard or two, a stride or two, and therefore lost momentum, but looking to make it up here with a fiddling run if he can. 3 defenders up there, make sure he goes no further than the 20.
I'd ask Coach Woods there, surely he has to catch that ball on the full.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I thought that he should have got in and got that ball on the full, and they would have been 10 metres up the field rather than let it bounce and skip past him.
Well, again, it's hard yards here that's being done. Straightforward, head down and driving it forward, trying to push the opposition back. It's Brejcek who takes it in hard. A couple of these Halifax players, of course, with very recent experience of the Super League. Very recent experience of international rugby league as far as Andy Brejcek is concerned, having played with Wales. Here comes the 6th tackle. Morel again, putting it high this time. A real tester down this left-hand side. It's not backwards into the hands of Thackeray. Thackeray throws it left. And what a little bit of quality and luck there as Devorty goes over. I think it was Patterson who got the first hand to it, wasn't it, who made it all happen. Thackeray kept it alive. And Ross Devorty is over for a quick response for the Halifax side.
I'm just wondering who bats this back, who actually jumps up. Was it Devorty that jumped up and got the leap, or he got the bat back? Who was it?
I thought it was Patterson, wasn't it?
Yeah. Good play, Lee Patterson. Compete for when the ball's in there, it's just a competition. He does real well and managed to turn his body to convince the referee that he knocked it backwards. Devorty is the man on the spot to knock it back to. Yeah, Patterson does really well. Thackeray gets the ball and Devorty finishes the try.
It was a great kick because it isolated Talapapa out there, and there was no urgency from the other Sheffield defenders to get back, to run the player off the ball or help him out at all, and it just isolated him, and Patterson just went up for it. You could see him, he watched it from the time it left the boot all the way through and did a great job. Good reaction from Thackeray as well to take the catch.
Here's Handforth looking to add the 2 to the 4. It doesn't look a bad one, this. It has gone between the uprights. So Halifax, having trailed just a moment ago, now lead by 6 points to 4 thanks to this big kick from Scott Morel.
Yeah, it just seems to me that we've seen both fullbacks isolated, on one on a short kick from Sheffield and a bigger up kick, you know, a big kick if you like, from Halifax. I just think they're forgetting their defensive responsibilities when somebody kicks the ball offensively. Surround the ball, surround the catcher with your own coloured shirts and give them the best possible chance that you can.
It's a towering kick there from Brambani from the restart, but Halifax punching it safely enough. Morel's getting involved in these early stages quite a bit, isn't he? He's such an important player. Almost a player that they build a side around this season, is he? Now that Penkovic is gone, a new approach, a new pivot.
Well, he adds, you know, I think the big question mark are over probably Handforth and Thackeray. Scott Morel coming into the team gives them an extra dimension to play. He needs to carry the ball a whole lot more, and he can kick the ball really well, Scott Morel.
Well, they're looking to move it quickly again here. Here's Patterson threatening to make the burst, but Stringer's across there to make sure the tackle's a good one. Brambani was helping out as well, back to the middle, and Handforth, who's again looking for that punishing kick and turning Sheffield on their heels, having to scamper back inside their own in-goal area. It's not going to go. It's weighted absolutely perfectly. So QLT has to do a hop and a skip and a jump, and he doesn't get too far before 3 big men are in there to make the tackle just a yard or 2 from his own line.
Yeah, super kick. Pinpoint kick from Handforth. There's 2 there. We've just seen a fractious little run from QLT. They managed to gather him in that time, herd him into the corral and tackle him, but you know, they've got to keep Sheffield. This is where you front load your energy. This is where you invest in the energy. Great offload from Yere.
Terrific Menziere, big drive in and got it offloaded as well, and Knowles placing it down that left-hand side, and now there's an opportunity maybe. Morrison's going to be put down. They want to get on with it quickly here. Play it quickly, back to Henderson again. Back inside for Mitch Stringer to have a drive through. Talapapa is just below us on the gantry here. He looks as though he might be injured, but I think he's just taking a position on this right-hand side for a kick at some stage. Here comes Henderson again, skittering forward. 20 metres away. from the Halifax line. There he is, waiting, poised, waiting for a kick over to his side. Out it comes Brampani. Now comes the kick, but he's not got the distance on it, and it's an easy take for Patterson. Just about 20 metres out, and that was rather diffused all too easily by Halifax.
Well, he's on 50% at the moment. It's a good try-scoring kick, which will do the yeehaw, you beauts. And that was a bit of a damp squib. He needed to do a whole lot better there.
Sheffield defence working well here just at the moment, though. No purchase given to these Halifax players as they try to bring it forward. Heavy conditions, which will get heavier and heavier as the night goes on. It's going to get more and more difficult down the middle. There's a patch just to the right of where Halifax have the ball at the moment, which is looking particularly muddy. Braychek taking it in. That was the fifth. Here comes the last. So again, they're looking for the kick out from dummy half. Not a bad option. QLT juggles, but catches it safely enough. Good line from Halifax. Terrific line from Halifax. He had no options at all there, did he?
A lot better there. It was a straight line, and they made that first contact stick, whereas the other previous ones, he's just beat that first man.
Here's Green.
Second, move away.
Three defenders trying to hold him down as long as they possibly can. Henderson picks up from dummy half. There's a little bit of a dummy play behind there, but nothing subtle about Mitch Stringer's efforts. Just took it in with all the determination you'd expect. He hit a solid wall of Halifax defenders, so he wasn't going anywhere, but they have a penalty here. He's given that against Stringer, not playing. What's he given that?
Not playing the ball. I think you'll find straight between his legs, is it? Watch his...
there he goes, yeah.
It's the new rule, isn't it? You've got to make an attempt to play the ball.
Let's have a look. Does he get his foot anywhere near it? The answer is no.
Well, as long as the referee's consistent, that's the big one with that one, isn't it? As long as the referee's consistent.
Get him onside there.
Here's Braychek. Apparently, the referee had warned him twice about not playing the ball before he gave that penalty, so fair warning. That's from our man in the truck, Ian Smith, who's keeping us up to date with what happens with the referee's communication. Morel throws it wide right, little step back on the inside. It's kept alive. Morel again trying to find a gap, punch a hole in the gap, but he's held up. Less than 10 away, and they still have tackles in the bag. Here comes a big effort by Ambler, who's found a way through, as he know he hasn't. Just held up, literally, millimetres short of that whitewash. Ashall, out it goes. Step inside from Thackeray. Now a little bit of a step again from Fieldhouse, who almost got through. The ball's gone free. It's gone backwards, not taken a Sheffield touch. So it is still the last tackle. Morel out to Hanforth again, who tries to measure one in, and Sheffield's defenders doing well just to put that away. Ned Morrison putting it behind the line and concedes the dropout underneath the sticks.
Good patience, good pressure building, right decision from Hanforth not to try and make the try-scoring pass. Put pressure on. QLT does the right thing, bats the ball out. 6 more players. Do the same again, Halifax. Take some juice out of this Sheffield team.
It was QLT. Ned Morrison was there, but it was quite certainly the fullback who got the hand to that. Here comes the dropout. They're going to expect a lot more defending to do here, Sheffield. It's a long kick, so there's a long way back for Halifax, but they have the ball in their hands, and there's tackle one. 30 metres away, directly in front of the sticks. So another wave, here it comes. Thackeray again to this left-hand side. It's taken on by Devorty, who shuffles off one attempted tackler, gets the ball away to Ashall. Did really well there, Devorty again. Ashall quick to his feet, thrown back to the middle. Morel shows it to one, throws it out to Hanforth. Hanforth with a step, and the darting electric pace, but he didn't have a man in support. But he has got another penalty here.
Yeah, I think he's in it for offside. I think they jumped the line too quickly.
Yeah, he was yelling out. He was yelling out on the stay out, but they got involved and gave that penalty.
So another set of 6, and this is the third set that Sheffield are having to defend. And this set starts right on their line. So the money is on Halifax making a breakthrough here. Ambler held up just short. That's 2 tackles gone. But it is, for the moment, a wearying Sheffield defence. Morel again involved. Here comes the impressive form of Devorty once more. Stop this time. Morel throws it back to the middle. Hanforth stepping off his right foot. Looks for support. Here's Ashall. Ashall away from Knowles. Inviting the runners back on the inside. Here's a big effort once again. They're going to hold them up. Just about hold them up. Back to this left-hand side. Braycheck it is, who offloads. He's got it away. They've got an overlap as well. Sharif has to come back on the inside, but the referee, with the help of a touch, Joe Shares, there was a forward pass involved there.
Well, they blew it. Sheffield are breathing a sigh of relief there because they had the numbers. All they had to do was execute. Take him under. Passed a little bit too early for me there, Patterson. Had to commit the defenders. Knows it himself. Scratching his head. And Sharif gets a forward pass.
What are you making of this Halifax side just at the moment, Dave Woods? They look as though they've found a little bit of form here, don't they?
Yeah, they started off slowly, but they've really exploded the last 5 or 10 minutes and really doing well with the ball in hand. They just look like they're going across field just probably a little bit too much rather than just be a little bit direct, but they look dangerous every time it comes out to Devordy.
Is Yerek?
Well, if you coach Harrison, Dave, what you do is if Hanford's got the ball, you need somebody on his inside and outside shoulder because he's likely to make a half a break. And same for Devorty and Morel on this left-hand side. But Sheffield are just finding that odd pass that's getting themselves out of danger.
Here's a man off from the bench, Liam Higgins, who's just arrived. So relatively fresh a pair of legs for Sheffield. Henderson is the man at dummy half, and it has been lost. Well, the Halifax defenders are congratulating themselves for the pressure they applied in defence, but I think that was a very casual mistake from Liam Higgins, wasn't it?
I think there's a decent bit of initial. I mean, he drops that, but he was rattled. The contact initially from, I think it was Robinson, shook him up a little bit. I think he's got up and had a bit of a wobble and dropped the ball.
I don't think he's got a shirt that fits either, has he?
I wouldn't worry about that one.
Halifax looking to create something on this left-hand side again. Ashall up at dummy half. Well, they're looking lively at the moment. It's Devorty once more. Here's Craig Ashall. Little ball drop back into inside for Braycheck, who tries to twist around. He was a second effort, I think, coming in from Green, which is why the referee has given the penalty.
I've been impressed with Braycheck. I think he's added something for Halifax. He's finding his front. He's got a decent bit of footwork at the line.
He's carried the ball very strongly as well, hasn't he? He's really charged the ball that well.
So here they come again. This time it's Luke Ambler, the former Leeds man, who shakes off a couple of defenders and then does extra bit of good work by getting the offload as well. Ashall taking it in. He's going to be held up at only 5 yards away. So in comes Thackeray, jogging up at dummy half, just drops it up for the aforementioned Braycheck, who tries to twist his way around. He can't find a way through. But Sheffield's defence is being asked so many questions here. Out to that right-hand side. Hanforth gets it on and maybe just tries to promote it over to, I think it bounced off the shoulder of Robinson. It's kept alive. They'll claim it here. Now, is the referee mindful? I think he's going to give this. He's given the try. Hidden on that far side. Has been given the try. Was there a case here for going for the video referee? David Woods is shaking his head. Absolutely.
I think he's got the correct call here, and I think Ian Smith would have ruled accordingly as well.
Yeah.
Knocked down by Menzieri. He tried patting it back. 6 again. Play on, I believe.
It was Hanforth, wasn't it? I think
he'd done the tough stuff, hadn't he? Yeah, he'd stopped. He'd nearly intercepted the ball. He needed to go to catch it again, and he's batted it back straight to the hand. A grateful Tiger Hanforth. Thank you very much. Another 4 points. There's the bat back. Straight to Hanforth, who picks it up. He's aware enough to get hold of the ball.
And you have to say, you put those opening 5 minutes to one side, and even in those opening 5 minutes, Halifax looked okay, but they conceded the try. But since then, they've been the absolute dominant force here, haven't they?
Yeah, they looked like they started off a little bit slow, but although they were winning that field position, but then that try just set them on the back foot a little bit, just not moving up. But since then, they've been very good. Tiger Hanforth, he's starting to take the ball to the line, and when he takes the ball to the line, he's very, very dangerous. Like Brian said, if he's got runners inside and out, take some flies off him, and he'll either skip straight through or he'll pick the right pass out.
So here comes a conversion attempt that would stretch this lead to 12 points to 4. Hanforth putting boot to ball. Has he found the target? No, he hasn't. The flags go down this time. But 10 points to 4 is a fairly decent reflection of the way this game has gone so far.
But Sheffield look dangerous bringing the ball out. You know, you can see that element of prowess, the prowess that they've got to skip and make a half of it, especially down that left-hand side that we've promoted for 18 months now. You've got to get a grip of Knowles, you've got to get a grip of Yeri. It's a lot easier said than done.
It's Dominic Brambani putting a high kick downfield again, but here comes the reply once more from a Wakefield pack that certainly looks as though it has the appetite for it here tonight. They're going to be proving a real handful, not just for Sheffield here, but for every side they come up against this season. Some real quality in there. Brejcek and Deforty and Morel, eye catchers, but a lot of other good players, big players. They're a big side this time, aren't they? Perhaps bigger than they were last year up front, would you say?
Do without that. Brejcek was on the fly there. He's been impressive, and Ambler with the carry before, but just got his timing wrong there. He needs to pull off the ball a little bit more to make it less of a decision. So he's given a forward pass here. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Got that right, hasn't he? Touchy.
So Sheffield will have the comparative luxury of starting a set inside their opponent's half here with possession. Just relieve a little bit of the pressure that have been growing on them, and a chance now maybe to provide some response to the 2 tries that they have conceded. Here comes Higgins. It's a make-up for the earlier mistake he made when he knocked on at the play the ball. Up he gets, plays it cleanly. Henderson from dummy half, looking left. It's a step by Walker, but he's running through the mud there at the moment. Really difficult. That's the most difficult part of the pitch, to keep your feet. So forward comes Howison, captain this year for the Sheffield Eagles, the former Sheffield Hallam University player. Henderson, left again. Walker tries to get them going. Here's Knowles, who's not only held up, he's pushed back. My word, what a big win that is for the defence.
Yeah, they got some numbers there, didn't they?
A little bit of afters from Adam Robinson.
Silly play from Robinson there. He's done a great job. He's a talented player, Robinson, but these little things just creep into his game, and that spoils it. But look at that, pushing Knowles back like that. That's what you want, and then he just goes on with it afterwards.
Well, in the meantime, Sheffield, having been given the penalty, have suddenly found themselves here. Stringer with a drive. Here comes Henderson out from dummy half, tries to duck underneath, can't quite do so. Brambani's now the man at acting half, or rather, this is Brambani now at first pivot. Plays it on again to Armstrong, the new man this year, of course. He's put down, but only 5 yards away. Looking good for Sheffield just at the moment. Brambani again. Now QLT to this right-hand side. He puts a little kick in, and a wonderful chase and touchdown by Missy Talapapa. Well, we don't normally associate QLT with the delicate kick from that range, but it was absolutely inch perfect, and Talapapa with a very good try.
It's a smart kick. It's a last play kick, and the Halifax players on the fringe commit themselves to the line, and Sharif, he's just run straight past Ricky Sharif's inside shoulder. He can't be allowed to run past him that free. He needed to turn in his face and make him work harder than he did, and maybe the fullback might have got there, Fieldhouse, but there's just a couple of slack plays on the last 3 kicks, you know, for defensive players, you know, because you're allowed to defend the ball when they kick it. You just don't let people run through the 3. You're allowed to turn in their face, and that's a great kick, you have to say, though. It's a pinpoint kick and very difficult to defend.
Terrific skill. I don't think people appreciate that often, do they? How difficult it is to get a kick away like that under the pressure that he was under there.
Yeah, on the run, and to just make it pinpoint accurate like that, not to kick it too deep, not to get that roll end over end. It's a very good skill, and you know, I think he surprised everyone because it was early in the tackle. I think it was only tackled 3 or 4 there, so he really surprised everyone with that little kick through.
It's a bit of a percentage kick, wasn't it? Because I suppose at the least they would have got the ball back maybe. There's the kick from Walker on the right-hand side. He missed the first. No mistake with the second. Straight between the uprights from perhaps one of the most difficult parts of the pitch to kick from a right-footed point of view. It all came from there, though, didn't it, this penalty?
As Dave said, they've done their job. Get out of there, defend your line. And how much of that was Knowles sticking his elbow in his mush, that you have to say, but he's had a free run. Ricky Sharif will be disappointed with watching that.
So 10-10, all square again, with about 25-26 minutes of this first half played. It's been a decent start so far, hasn't it? I suppose one or 2 moments in defence that either coach will say didn't like that, but from a neutral point of view, it's been decent on the eye, good on the eye so far this game. Here's Henderson getting it away again, taken on a stride or 2 by Shostak, who's just over the halfway line. Henderson. Here's Green. Inside ball for Quentin Lala-Tagakai, who flies through the gap. Henderson's there in support. Some scramble defence from Halifax just about rescues today. But the first flying run from QLT of the new season. Here's Brambani on the 6, has to make something happen here, has to keep it alive, can't do so. And it's tackled eventually. An opportunity missed.
They've still got those dangerous players, haven't they, Sheffield? You'd have to say that Halifax are pretty much 80% of the game, but little ball, inside ball there to QLT from Walker, and they're away again. How many times did we see that? You have to close the door on the inside against this team. Just a bit loose in certain parts on the fringes, Halifax.
Oh, he's dropped it. And now here we've got the advantage rule. There's the first example of the advantage rule. The ball was dropped, and instead of dropping on it, as Michael Knowles would have done last year, he tried to kick it downfield to chase after it. A free play, if you like. It didn't come off, but they still go back to give them the head and feet at the scrum, Sheffield.
I don't think Michael Knowles would have realised that was the rule, though.
You know?
No, I know Michael Knowles well. No, look, he's tried that just to try and confuse him with that call. He's an early kick again.
Oh, here we go, QLT. Almost taken in impossible circumstances by Missy Tulapapa.
Well, Coach Harrison needs to get the message out to Sharif. He's got to be like a cat on hot tins. He's got to be looking in, stopping the play, coming out. He puts the ball near his toe. He was too tight there on his play because it was a free catch if he'd have got in there. So it's going to be a tough night at the office for young Ricky Sharif.
Tough old bird, isn't he, Carl Harrison? Suffers a player, here he is tonight. Well, I think he's got a monstrous foot problem, but he's still there.
I don't know whether Mark Aston would be too happy with that, a kick on first tackle, after just building that little bit of pressure that they had.
Yeah. Halifax again with a chance to bring it clear. 10-10 the score.
Second!
Having been dominant at 10-4, Halifax just being set back on their heels again by a Sheffield side who've put on a very good response.
Stand up!
And we have a terrific game here at the moment. Really well balanced as we're coming up to the first half hour of this first half.
Well done. Go.
Ashall. The Rel again looking for the kick. It's not a 40-20 because he was close to the halfway line, but it is still a very good kick. It has put Sheffield right back again, hasn't it?
Good kick. Put them in a part of field where they can build a defensive set now. Scott Morrell is quite smart there, because I think they were a bit of 6s and 7s, Halifax, then. You know, they were fractured a set coming out. They made an error the time before, so they can walk to a scrum now, and we need to get back in the arm wrestle.
I think Castleford were interested, weren't they? I think London were interested. I think Bradford were interested as well, all reportedly inquiring about Scott Morrell when Hulkingston Rovers released him last year. Surprisingly releasing, because I think he'd been offered a 2-year contract and then it was withdrawn. But here he is at Halifax, and he's doing a terrific job so far.
I mean, Sheffield are making far too many metres on a second effort. You know, the one-up contact of Halifax is not where their coach would want it to be at this stage.
Move! 2. Hold. Go. Careful going in flat. Standing leg, Craig.
Moving it right again. Armstrong.
Third. Move!
He looks a useful acquisition.
He's a nice-looking player, isn't he? He was at St Helens, wasn't he? And he's a clever lad as well. He's doing some geology degree, a mining degree at Manchester University.
He'll understand the dynamics of the pain he receives when he gets whacked, then, won't he?
Here, it's driven in by Higgins.
5 movements!
Up to dummy half is James Davey.
Go.
On now, the little change with Henderson having gone off, but his pass to Brambani is spilled. And cheap possession given back to Halifax here.
Why's time off?
I think because he kicked the ball away.
All right. Yeah.
Should have taken that.
Yeah, it's just those little errors that are just creeping in, just sort of allowing Halifax just to get that field position back again.
Move! Hold, trapped! Go! Go, male trapping.
Tonks on the field as well, that last drive.
Second movement! Well done, William. Hold.
Here's Handforth.
Go! Quicker! Got an offside involved, Cole. That's okay, come on.
It's another penalty.
Sure
offside. Again giving Halifax a chance to set up camp in their opponent's half.
1. Move!
In by Ambler.
Stay 10. Hold! Hold!
Here's Carl Ashall now, moving up to dummy half in the Exchange with his brother Craig. Good drive forward again by Tonks, I think that was. Gets up to his feet. Carl Ashall stands and waits. Moves it to this left-hand side and Handforth. Handforth dummying out and then dummying in and then caught by two. Ashall's up there again. Still tackles in the bank here. Funneled back to the inside. A step. And Ambler tries to take on the line. 3-4 defenders needed. There's a bit of help being provided by Carl Ashall, but they're not going to push him over. So here he plays it. Still a couple of tackles left. Morel. Right, it goes to Thackeray. Thackeray putting it back on the inside. Oh, good move by Higgins out of the line to make that tackle a good one. Needed to be, and then it was dropped. And it's going to be Sheffield's head and feet.
It was dropped as well.
I think he's got one back there. It was a solid contact back on the inside runner.
Big hit on Braidcheck. He was looking appealing at the referee, wasn't he?
Okay, lads, let's keep working, yeah?
He should have concentrated on holding the ball.
Let's make sure we're putting the ball with the foot, making an effort at least.
He's all right for Halifax so far, doesn't he?
Braidcheck,
yeah.
He'll be involved in the World Cup, you would have thought, wouldn't you? At the end of the year, playing for Wales.
Speed it. Out!
Big opener, October 26th, I think it is, at Cardiff's Millennium Stadium.
How long's left?
Wales against Cook Islands and England against some team from down under, Australia.
Australia, mate. Australia.
Second move! Hold.
8 minutes to half-time. All square at the moment, 10-10. Opening night of the 2013 season. Halifax against Sheffield. And it's Sheffield, the team in red, who have possession just at the moment. Brambani scooping it back again for another kick downfield from Walker. It's caught easily enough by Fieldhouse. Finds his way back almost to the 40-metre line before eventually he's put down. Here comes Carl Ashall. Braidcheck again, taking it in with real relish, real determination, making those Sheffield defenders work hard here. Ashall's just had a little look to his right, decides he's going to come left instead. Sharif looking for a bit of work down the middle. Ashall. Halifax again looking enthusiastic here. But that was a fourth. There's only a couple of tackles left. They find themselves 30-odd yards away from where they want to be. So in comes Tonks with a big effort forward, trying to get them on the back foot. So on the sixth play now, Morel's got a little bit of time to work, and another good kick, and QLT just fingertips it and toe tips it out of play. Another drop out underneath the sticks. Another good kick.
That's his third. Pinpoint. Handforth had probably the second. I probably got confused with that. With his try kick as well. That's his third quality kick for this team.
Position, lads, yeah. Time off.
So Sheffield will take their time here.
And with the freshly baked team, if we call Sheffield the freshly baked team, these kind of things mount up towards the back end of the game. The last 15 and 20 minutes, when you haven't played for a while, your legs start feeling that little bit of heaviness. You think you've got pit boots on them, or divers boots on, and it's harder to pull your legs out of the sticky surface. So I'm sure that's some of the thought processes for Halifax as well.
But a long season this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
14 teams involved. Penalty against Sheffield.
The entire line. Come on, I can't tell you all.
Well, eminently kickable if they wanted to take the two-point route, but they don't. They want to go for the 6. Here comes Braidcheck and Higgins again. It's a good little cameo, those two, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they like each other. Wonder if they'll buy each other an Easter egg.
Not this time of year. Here comes Tonks again.
I was thinking more at Easter.
Were you? Maybe a Valentine's card. That's quicker. That's sooner. Here comes Ashall. Carl Ashall standing at dummy half. Plenty of options to his left. Little juggle of the ball. Did well to keep hold of it in the end, and so he decides to run it. Higgins grabs a hold. Rather, it was Knowles who grabbed a hold and pulled him down.
Wait!
Still less than 10 yards away. Here comes the play towards his left-hand side. Morel switches it back. Good offload again by the fullback Fieldhouse. But Sheffield's defence is just about holding on grimly at the moment. Still got 2 more tackles to cope with as well. Back it comes to Morel. Now it's eventually into the hands on this left-hand side of Devorty via Thackeray. So this is the last. It's Patterson at dummy half, back to the middle. Morel puts a little chip over the top. Knowles was there, he's beaten in midair. I think it's going to be Fieldhouse who gets in to touch it down.
Did he get it down?
Did he get it down? Well, this is exciting because for the first time this season we get to hear Ian Smith in action. The question is this a try? We need to know the answer from Ian Smith.
If you can pause it on the foot so we can check the onside, offside. They're onside. play on. Let's go to the challenge. He goes for the ball. So it's just a grounding now, please. So we're okay with onside, offside. He doesn't lose it onto another player, so it's play on. So it's just a grounding. He regathers. He's still got in possession. Yeah, it's his arms on the ball there. That's a try. George, that's a try.
Okay, time back on.
Well done, Ian. First decision of the season. We look at to the two wise owls to our right. Did he get it right? Did he get it right?
Very quick, very efficient, and he got it right.
Always gets it right.
I wouldn't say that. Can't say that. Saw myself down the river at the start of the season, but good decision. Fair try.
And a try for Ryan Fieldhouse. First of the season for him. Paul Hanforth with a chance to add the two here. 10-10 it was. 14-10 they lead now. And 16-10 it has become with that kick. Halifax in the lead with just about 4 minutes to half-time. Another kick, another try from another kick.
Morel again, no pressure whatsoever on him. Just let him take the ball to the line and put that little kick over.
How many tries we've seen tonight? 5 tries. I think 4 of them have come from kicks, haven't they?
Okay, don't want you, mate. Let's go.
The referee allows the restart. Brambani just twists away as he puts that kick downfield, as though he might have been a little frustrated with the way it fell, but it didn't look too bad. And Halifax again with hard work to do, with 3 and a bit minutes of this first half gone. It's been a good first half.
It's been a tough game on the quiet, hasn't it? So we've got that little cameo of you suggesting, Braycheck and Higgins, and then the kicking game of Pat Walker versus Scott Morrell. And
Scrum.
Didn't play it.
All the time, mate. Then you do clumsy play the ball. Don't
Clumsy play the ball. We hear it from the referee. So that's another mistake.
done it 3 times under Halifax, and it's led to 2 scores at least. Warrency dropped the ball, didn't he? A knock on here.
Yeah.
Tony Tonks lifted the boot rather than played it with the boot, didn't he? So that's why it's gone Sheffield's way here. Head and feed. So can they provide another quick response? 30 yards away from where they want to be. Armstrong takes it in.
Hold your line, Tony.
Here's Davey. So on to Colton Roach. Interesting to watch him at this season. 19 years of age is Colton Roach, the Irish international. Mark Aston, of course, the Irish coach. So Guy taking it in. Roach has just signed from the Leeds Academy.
Need it quicker, Anthony.
He's a big lad, but he can play the centres as well. Here's Tolapapa. Play on, despite the cries of obstruction.
There was an obstruction.
From the sidelines.
Impeded the defender.
Hold.
This is Davey. Standing and waiting. Struffer takes them to within visible range of that try line, but this is the last tackle, and Halifax defence is in no mood to give up anything easy this time. And the minute that Roach got that ball, he didn't have a chance, did he? There were 4 defenders on him straight away. And a very good last play from the defensive point of view.
And the best opportunity was right in front of them. Marker Ashall had fallen over. I think it was Walk. If it had just run straight at him, he was in under the post.
Well, Sheffield are stepping it up as well themselves here defensively. Now Harrison's seen something that he doesn't entirely like from the sidelines.
Second, move away.
2 gone, 4 to go.
Go.
Halifax anxious to hang on here if they can. Sharif down the middle.
Hold. Go.
Little step by Warrency.
2 big boys on the wings for Halifax.
Getting involved as well. You like that, don't you? Seeing the wingers getting involved.
Well, they get paid as much as anybody else.
Who needs a prop when you've got a couple of wingers? Kick by Ashall from dummy half. That's a terrific kick, as again it's held up in dummy in that in-goal area. But what a return here. Fantastic by Ned Morrison. A pick-up and a real dashing effort to get downfield.
The Chasers have let that kick down there badly. That was a tremendous kick. Really well kicked, like out of hand. Pulled up into that in-goal, and just a poor chase.
Maybe a lack of concentration. Here comes Davey. into the final minute of this first half. There's still an opportunity, a sense, for Sheffield to strike here because they do have the weapons to do it. Menzieri being one of them, but he's held up in his stride on that halfway line. Knowles will pick it up and help it on. Back it comes to Brambani. Into the line comes Quentin Lola-Tagagai. This now is Tom Armstrong, but it goes no further. The defence is good, so here comes the last play of the half, you think. With about 16 seconds left to go, up it goes. Big kick from Brambani. Where's this coming down? It's allowed to bounce. It's taken by Warrency. He's lost it, but the referee blows his whistle. Offside against Sheffield. So Halifax will get the penalty here.
Sostak was 5 metres offside.
10 metres, lads. Can't walk offside.
There you see. Guy running through that's within the 10 metres on the catch there, Sostak.
Walker, is it?
It might have been Walker. I think it was Sostak.
Well, the tap taken and the kick out of play. Paul Hanforth, a very influential figure in that first half. A half that sees Halifax lead by 16 points to 10. They looked as though they were dominating at one stage, but Sheffield with a good response. But on the balance of play, Halifax just deserving that half-time lead here at the Shea. First game of the new season.